Intelligent Ramblings friend site group on Facebook, and the information is there. Well, getting on to the headlines or news or whatever you want to call it today. As Democrats court Haley supporters, the former UN ambassador is still waiting to hear from Trump. She's not out. She has released all her delegates to go for Trump, and she has said that she's voting for Trump, but she hadn't been out campaigning. Now, I wonder, is that Trump's idea or her idea? Because, you know, she said some pretty hardcore things during the campaign.
Yeah, she had a warning or two for him today, I think. About
she said during she repeatedly requested the fitness of Trump and Biden, and said that they should have cognitive tests for older politicians. And what were you saying about warning, Gary?
Yeah, she was warning him that, you know, on some of the things that he was doing or saying about who he was trying to appeal to, make sure he didn't turn off women because women were a huge part of the electorate. Things like that.
Like he turned off the whole province or whatever you want to call it of Puerto Rico?
Yeah, and I read a New York Times commentary on that particular thing, and their hinting was that it was so outrageous it gave him a chance to come out and deny that. But it may have backfired if that was his intent. And if it wasn't his intent, then that was outrageous anyway. I mean, come on, you know, Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States. Well, why are you jumping on them?
Calling them a trash heap.
Yeah,
basically.
Come on, what's up with that?
They vote.
And why even bring it up?
Yeah, it's just kind of weird.
I don't know where that came from. I'm not sure.
I'm sure we
Maybe
just saw tidbits
explain
of
that
it.
to me.
I'm sure we just got tidbits of it. William, you got anything to say on that?
No, he don't always think before he speaks. I don't know what his problem is.
These were people who were speaking on his behalf, or at least at his rally. And I'm not sure why they were even there. That just struck me as just sort of out of the blue, kind of weird comment. That why would you do that? I mean, whose child have they stolen? What food have they taken out of your mouth? To quote the great Wayne Newton. You know, I don't know why that even happened. That just
Puerto Rico votes, right?
But this whole thing is bizarre.
Puerto
Puerto Rico is a territory. They do not have senators or representatives. You know, that's a good question, Bill. Somebody needs to look that. I think if they have presidential votes, I'd have to look that up. American Samoa, maybe. Who can vote in the president? Google it right quick, somebody.
That's what I'm doing.
Who can vote in the federal election? Can American territories vote? I should know that, but I don't. I'm sorry. Find it right quick. Too bad our ace Googler John Cone is not here.
Yes.
He's on family leave.
We're definitely missing that. Well, I can't find anything on it yet. But that was a pretty off-the-charts statement the guy made. I mean, it was...
Yeah.
U.S. citizens, including Puerto Rico, can vote for president if they are registered to vote in India, reside in any of the states. And that's as far as it'll go.
So they must have to live within the United States. They can be registered to vote, but they have to be in a recognized state. So that means that territories like American Samoa,
They can't vote if they live on the island.
They're not entitled to electoral votes for president.
There you go.
So
Okay,
you don't
but still,
really-
yeah. So now it becomes even more bizarre, right? Why do you want to piss off a whole island full of people, and also with the idea that they are Latino, and you might piss off all the rest of the Latino folks? I don't
kidding.
get that at all. That was just dumb. Oh well. Moving on.
Moving on. Well, Democrats are leaning on celebrity star power, as well as the Republicans. Kamala Harris has Bruce Springsteen, Taylor Swift, Beyonce. Donald Trump has Kid Rock, Waka Flocka Flame, whoever the hell that is, and Hulk Hogan. Democrats are
And
noticeably
also-
leading on their star power advantage, calling on diverse range of celebrities to endorse Harris, invigorate audiences, and they hope spur people to the ballot box.
Well, I'm going to tell you, a lot of people in Georgia have already been spurred to the ballot box. Millions
Okay,
have voted early.
here we got a little. Well, welcome back to Jay Johnson. We've missed you.
Yeah, it was a comedian that said that at a Trump rally. No, Trump. No, I didn't. None of us meant to intimate that Trump said that. In fact, the Trump campaign has now come out and vigorously distanced themselves from there. I'm just questioning why at a Trump rally that was even brought up. I don't know. No, Trump didn't say that.
Puerto Rico has a trash disposal problem. Yeah, I would think so. And
Well, they might vote, but they're not entitled to electoral representation. So that's William is. If you had been hammered by, well, he came out and denied that. Biden did. He said he was talking about the whole concept of that kind of thing.
I guess he was roasting Trump for some reason, whatever.
I don't know, or maybe he was roasting Puerto Rico, but I don't get that either. Well, Puerto Rico probably does have a trash disposal problem. If you've been hammered by all those hurricanes, you probably have a trash disposal problem too.
Yeah. Well, back on to our second subject. Does it really matter to you that Bruce Springsteen is voting for Democrats? And we always know he's a cut and a die, absolute Democrat. He's big buddies with Obama. Does it sway your vote in any portion of it for somebody that's a rock and roll star or actor or somebody that's
Athlete.
famous? You know,
No, not in the least.
me either.
Not unless I
No.
respect them for other things. I mean, their opinion is no better than mine. Probably
Or less.
Might even not be as good. Yeah.
Because
No,
we,
celebrity power have never done anything for me.
whatever
Sorry.
you may say about us, we're informed. Kind of have to do this show.
Mm-hmm. So no, that doesn't do anything for me.
No, me either.
All right. Well, we're agreed on that. But might for some.
Yeah,
it doesn't
I'm sure
hurt
they
you.
do.
What about all
It
those
doesn't hurt you.
those Swifties? Isn't that what they call them? Or twisties or whatever?
Swifties.
Yeah. Well, see now you've asked a different question. You
Okay.
said, does it matter to me? No. But to the legions of people that follow some of these people, oh yeah, now that matters to them. And it might sway something that's close. How many, or I guess they call it X now, Twitter, how many followers does Taylor Swift have?
Millions.
A ton, yeah.
You would
Hello,
think
Allie.
she'd be
Hi,
on
Allie.
Trump's side. Since she's a billionaire, and supposedly Trump favors billionaires.
She's got plenty of money, so does Oprah, but Oprah's not on Trump's side, that's for damn sure. She's a billionaire.
Thank you. That was sweet.
No, that's nice. So-
I would say, you know, to a 18-year-old that takes half her paycheck to go see a concert whenever she's in town or within 100 miles, that cares that much about it and it's that into it, it would absolutely change their vote. You know, would make a difference.
Oh yeah, that makes a difference. But that's a different question. Does it matter to me, or does it matter to Middle America? I know to fans of somebody, they obviously respect them for one reason or another, and so they would probably heed their advice for some odd
Well,
reason.
Middle America is not real bright. You know, I mean, it's just the IQ of the average person is not that high, and so
Well, that's the,
they would be easily
chase that rabbit down the
manipulated.
hole.
I mean, they would be easily manipulated by somebody because they think they're a great singer. Does it matter enough to get an 18 out to vote? Nah. You don't think, Andrea, that 18-year-old would go, I don't really care about the election, I'm not going to vote? Is that what you're saying?
I think that's exactly what she's saying. She might be right. Here's the thing: a lot of people feel like their vote really doesn't matter, and whoever does the best job of getting out the vote for their people is going to win this election because everything that I can see says it's pretty close.
Well, I mean, as far as vote not mattered, I mean, I live in Trump podunk. You know, I mean, it's 90% Trump here. I mean, cut and dry. It's going to be 90% Republican. All the city councilmen, the dog catcher, anybody's running for elected office, there was either vote for Republican or don't vote, or do a write-in vote. And when I voted recently, a couple days ago, usually I do a write-in vote for myself rather than actually vote for somebody that I don't know or care about. And I didn't this time. I've written other people's names in and voted for them. But I've taken the time to go in and do write-in votes. I voted for Charlie Brown for many years. I think
some country it's illegal to vote for Mickey Mouse now because
I have voted for
kept
Mickey
voting
Mouse.
for him.
I have voted for Mickey Mouse several times, rather than vote for the other choice, whatever that is. Well, nobody else says it. Andrea, I'm asking you a direct question. Does it matter enough to get an 18-year out to vote? What do you think about that?
She said no.
No, she asked the question. Does it matter? Does it matter enough to get an 18 out to vote? Nah. Okay. Yeah, that is an answer to the question.
Well, I hope all those Swifties don't get out and vote Democrat. There's a bunch of them.
There's a bunch of them. Well, to interject another sports note here. Oh, we'll go ahead and do this. North Korea thing. Oh yeah, this is very worrisome.
Ukraine's Zelensky says world Russia is being pushed beyond borders as North Korea joins in. Zelensky said he spoke to South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol and told him that 3,000 North Korean soldiers are already in military bases close to the Ukrainian front, and they expects the deployment to increase to 12,000. Major General Pat Ryder said a relatively small number of North Korean troops are now at Russia's Kursk region, where Russian troops have been struggling to push back a Ukrainian incursion, and a couple thousand more are heading in that direction. Now, my thoughts on from what I've read on this and researched a little bit is the fact that these North Koreans are basically, number one, they don't know the terrain. They're used to mountainous regions and they're not used to the flatlands they're going to be on. Number two, they're not very experienced at combat. North Korea hadn't had combat since 1953, the Korean conflict. So basically, these North Koreans are going to be cannon fodder. They're going to send them in and they're going to go screaming like we've seen in the war movies. They're going to be screaming up the hill or across the meadow, and then they're going to get wiped out. And there's going to be a lot of them dying. Basically, a lot of them will not go home.
And that doesn't matter in the least to Vladimir Putin.
No, Putin don't care at all. He don't care about his own troops. You think he cares about North Korean? And Eun John Fat Boy is, he absolutely doesn't give a shit about him. But it to me is a very disturbing situation. The South Korean president's already talking, trying to get some traction on maybe getting somebody to meet that 12,000 with somebody else.
This is the way, this escalation stuff starts, the slippery slope. A few thousand here, a few thousand there, and then all of a sudden you're talking a whole bunch of different troops. That's kind of what got the World War started, wasn't it? These alliances and entanglements.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you opened fire on my allies, so now I got to back them up. And if I back them up, then my people that back me up, we got to back them up. And your people that back you up, got to back you up. This is very disturbing to me. I was wishing that the economic things were more effective, but in some ways the Russian economy has grown. I don't know how they do that. I don't think we have nearly enough people, particularly in the NATO alliances, that are trying to turn the screws up on these people. Or maybe the black market is just that big. I don't know.
What do you think, William?
Well, like you said, it's disturbing. I don't know what the problem is there at North Korea. I don't know why they're getting involved, other than they just think they have to support Putin. And I don't know why they're doing that. Maybe because they're both communists. Maybe they're good buddies. I see them shaking hands there, but they don't look too interested in each other.
well put. Oh, I think it's thumbing your nose at the West. That's what all this is about. I mean, you've got the Iranians involved in some of this stuff, and they don't like anybody, but they dislike the United States and Israel more.
Yeah, that's true.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I don't know.
Well, Putin and Kim Jong-un, whatever his name is, I don't really care to learn it because he's a despicable person. Those guys have been buddies for a while. Putin sent him an armored car not long ago. A real nice one. Like cost a couple billion rubles to make one of these things. He sent him a car. They've been having this kind of business going on for a while. And when there was flooding in North Korea, Putin called the North Korean leader and told him that we will help. we will send supplies. And they sent supplies to them. So those guys are active allies. And
well, and I think that's probably common ground, Bill. I think that's a genuine distrust and dislike of the Western countries. And I think that's what all that's about.
Well, if he's asking for war, he may be getting it. I don't think we're going to sit back too long and have North Korea fighting Ukraine.
China and Iran are probably the reason sanctions aren't working as well as we hope. That may be something to be said for that, Andre. And maybe we need to turn up the screws on China a little bit too. You know, China's bidding to become a world economic power, not necessarily a world military power, although they wouldn't mind that either. They definitely want to be a player in the economic scheme.
Well, China backed off. China was starting to get more involved in it, and they just kind of backed right up and said, hey.
But they can still do the backdoor kind of support.
Yeah.
Versus, you know, outright like North Korea sending them troops. China can still give them some support economically in other ways, trade and things like that. If we're ever going to break Russia, it's got to be a solid block of the NATO alliance and other countries. Otherwise, they'll just keep rocking along because, you know, I mean, they've got a lot of natural resources. You know, the old Soviet Union fell in part because of economics. I had one guy tell me, he said Reagan broke them. He outspent them. Broke them, about broke us, but did break them. And so Mr. Gorbachev at the time knew on which side his toast was buttered and decided to get out while the getting was good. And the Soviet Union broke up. I think Putin wants to recreate that. And Ukraine was his first sortie into that sort of thing.
Well, Gary, what were you fixing to go on to?
Yeah, I want to do something a little bit lighter before that. I want to talk about the World Series. If the World Series ended last night, and maybe even if it ends tonight, I know who the MVP is.
Oh, yeah.
That's Freddie Freeman. Not only has he fielded his position well, as he always does, but he has homered in every game so far, including the walk-off grand slam, the first grand slam in World Series history, walk-off. And so I'm wondering, you know, I mean, I'm glad to see him doing well. I mean, it hurt him that the Braves wouldn't re-sign him. And when were the last time the Braves were playing for a World Series, won a World Series championship? I believe the first baseman was Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman, yeah. That was incredibly stupid.
Well, they were thinking, and now that's not a knock on Matt Olson being no good, because he is. He's a good first baseman. He's a good bat. But they were thinking, well, you know, we can get this guy and have a whole lot more years of production out of him. Well, just because you're a few years younger, that's no guarantee you're going to have the kind of longevity some of these people can have now that they're taking better care of themselves and nutrition and training and all that stuff. You know, Freddie might be playing great for another 3 years. Who knows? But he's playing pretty good right now, I'll tell you that. And I'm kind of pulling for the Dodgers. I don't really like the Yankees much anymore, but I mean, I don't
Freeman's
really
hit home runs in 6 straight World Series games.
That's right.
2 for Atlanta, the last 2.
Right. Dating back to Atlanta.
4.
Well, right now, if the Dodgers win this one, I already thought he was going in, but Freeman will be an absolute lock for the Hall of Fame. Maybe even the first time he's eligible, I think he'll go in. If the Dodgers win this one, for sure he will be. I think he's going to get in anyway, but I think he's surely going to get in if the Dodgers win this one.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of what I wanted to say, Bill. Just a little bit lighter note, but it's attracting nationwide attention. So, you know, and it could end tonight. Oh, and if you want to talk about something stupid, what about those 2 clowns that tried to get that foul ball out of that Dodgers glove?
You know, I was
Are
watching
you
the news and I
Are
had
you
to
kidding
abandon
me?
it. I came down here. Tell me exactly what happened and what was the result.
Well, he was going to catch a foul ball in foul territory, and he went up, and these two Yankees fans in the stands reached in his glove, just about tore his glove off and get to the ball. So they kicked him out, and then they wouldn't let him in the game tonight. I was thinking maybe, a long time ban. Look, you can't be doing that sort of thing. You can't be putting your hands on the players. Come on. You're not there for that. Just because you paid your money to get a ticket. Oh, yeah. Sit in the stands, yell, do all that kind of stuff all you want to. But don't be laying your hands on anybody. That's crossing the line.
Yeah.
I would agree with you 100%. They should have been thrown out and banned.
And they gave their tickets
My wife was
to
saying a lifetime ban.
Yeah, I would agree with a lifetime ban.
Well, at least a multi-year. Can't be doing that. You can't be doing that sort of thing.
Alex H, go Freddie.
All right. Well, that's all I wanted to say about that. So.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick commercial, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit of college football.
Sounds good.
Well, here we are for college football 2024, week 10. Boy, this season is just blown by.
Oh, yeah. The high schools are getting ready for the playoffs.
Yeah. But,
What is it? One more round of regular season games and the playoffs start for high school. William, are you keeping up on it? Are some of them having to take advantage of that extra week the GHSA granted because of the hurricane?
I guess they are. I think this is still the last weekend. There may be one more, but I know Jefferson plays Oconee County tomorrow or Friday for the region championship.
My radio crew is going to be at North Hall in Dawson County, but North Hall's already clinched it. Now they got all these power ranking stuffs that's got to be factored in. So it's a little bit crazy now, and then you get the public-private thing that they've got to split it off. Not very simple like it was back when we played ball. Well, you remember back when we were playing ball, you had to win the region to go to the playoffs. It wasn't any of this second,
Sub-region.
third, and fourth seeds.
Sub-region.
You had to win.
You won the sub-region, then you played a region championship.
Played for the region championship, and the region champion was the one that went to the playoffs.
So you can
Jefferson-
lose one game and you're out.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, the year that our good friend Dickie Horde was a senior, they were 10-1. 9-1. 9-1 and stayed home. People can't even fathom that now.
No.
What are you talking about? 9-1? He didn't go to the playoffs? No. We had to win the region. They had to beat Washington Wilkes. They didn't beat them.
My junior year, we were 9-2. No. Were we 8-2? I'm trying to think. We didn't lose any more than 2 games. And we didn't go
What
to the
year would that
playoffs.
have been? 73, you were 9-1.
See, 70. Yeah, I graduated 75, but so I would make it my junior year was 73 season.
73 season.
Yeah, 9-1, lost to Commerce in the last game.
And we were out. We did not go to anything. We went to the region playoff my senior year against Cartersville, which wasn't a lot of fun.
No.
We
They're
were
still-
supposed to win, and we didn't.
Cartersville's still pretty good, by the way.
Yeah, they are, and they're getting bigger. They were big then too. Kind of a boring weekend last weekend in college football. I didn't. There wasn't any real big, like wow games like we've been experiencing recently. But you want to get on to some picks?
Let's do that.
Oregon versus Michigan. Oregon is unstoppable at this point. Dylan Gabriel leads in the Heisman hopefuls in a win against Ohio State. Gabriel threw for 341 yards and 2 touchdowns while also rushing for a score in a 32-31 victory. Oregon's top dog, and they're real. I think they've got all the intangibles. And Michigan is, well, they lost their quarterback, they lost running backs, they lost defensive line. They were national championship team for a reason. They had a really good team, and they lost about half of it. Basically starting over. So
They're still pretty good.
they're
I wouldn't be
pretty good.
surprised if it wasn't a close game.
They did
I
beat
don't
Michigan
think so.
State last week.
That
But
ain't saying
I
a whole
think
lot
I think Oregon right now is the class of the college scene right now. Excuse me.
You all right?
Yeah, something in my throat.
Frog.
So I'd say we're all in agreement on the Oregon.
Yeah.
We are in agreement.
Sorry, our statistician is not here tonight. He had some family matters to deal with, and we miss John, and hope everything's okay out there, out west where he is,
Yep, in Denver.
Denver. Florida at number 2, Georgia.
In Jacksonville.
In Jacksonville. Florida,
As usual.
Georgia just doesn't like Florida. Let me start over. Georgia doesn't like Florida, so the incentive is there. Georgia's only loss came in a close one to Alabama, and they still be in a nasty mood in Jacksonville when they delete Florida.
Yeah, not to say it couldn't happen, but Florida upsetting Georgia would be like Vandy beating Alabama. So it can happen, but it's not likely.
Yeah, I think
picking
I
Georgia.
think Vandy's got a better team than Florida, and I just think Florida's a couple years away. This is pretty much a mismatch.
Hopefully. You never know when these two teams get together.
That's true.
True.
I don't think it'll be close though.
I hope you're right.
Ohio State versus Penn State. This is the game of the week, pitting once beaten Ohio State against an undefeated Penn State. Penn State has some close wins against Bowling Green and USC, and their quarterback is hurt. While Ohio State is beating the pants off everyone except losing to Oregon by a point. Ohio State will show why it's almost the cream of the crop. I'm picking Ohio State.
Well, I went back and forth on this one, and I finally gave the nod to Penn State just because they're playing at home. Now, some of those other factors that you mentioned may come into play, and the rankings may be skewed somewhat, basically because what you said, Bill. I mean, you're looking at a one-loss Ohio State team, but that loss was to the people that are ranked number 1 in the country now, and they probably should have won that game.
Yeah.
If quarterback hadn't had a brain fart, in the closing seconds of the game and forgot how much time there was on the clock, they could have been in a position to kick a winning field goal. I'm still going to go with the Nittany Lions. So I just one of those gut feelings. I may be wrong. I mean, I missed 4 last week, so.
I might have picked.
One of them wasn't even close.
I might have picked Penn State because they're at home, but their quarterback's hurt, and they don't even. It's a game time decision, and even if he plays, he's not going to be as effective as he normally is.
I'm going with Ohio State. Ohio State.
All right.
I picked 4 wrong ones last week too, Gary.
Yeah.
Duke at number 5, Miami. Duke somehow lost to Georgia Tech and the feisty SMU Mustangs, but Miami is different, and Duke will not be able to hold back Cam Ward and the Hurricanes. I just think Miami's got too much going on for Duke. Duke's a good team. They've only lost twice, and I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. It could be, but I'm thinking maybe 10 points at the most.
Yeah, I'm going with Miami too.
I think we're all on Miami. I don't know who John picked, but we're going on. 3 of us, I guess, are Miami.
Going on Miami. Kentucky at number 7, Tennessee. Kentucky is all beat up, missing most of its defensive line with injuries. Tennessee is looking forward to that meeting in Athens with UGA. It's a down year for Kentucky, and the losing will continue.
Yeah. I think the Volunteers, I think think that Rocky Top, they got something to prove, and they can't prove it if they keep losing to people they shouldn't lose to. So I think they're going to beat Kentucky.
Yeah, Tennessee lost to Arkansas. I was really surprised by that one.
Me
it wasn't
too.
that close either.
I'm going with Tennessee.
Sometimes it's about matchups. How well do we match up with you?
Yeah.
And at what positions?
And we did not match up well with Kentucky. So, I said at the beginning of the season, Kentucky's going to have a 5-5 season.
All right.
Texas A&M at South Carolina. Texas A&M has only lost to Notre Dame, but when South Carolina is on, they're on. Just ask Oklahoma. Game is in Columbia, and it should make a difference. I'm picking Carolina because it's in an upset, because it's at Columbia, and like I said, when Carolina's on, they're ferocious. They got a really good team.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Their quarterback is back. He played last week the whole game, so he's back in the fold and not hurt anymore. Texas A&M has got a really good team, and if this game was at Texas A&M, I would definitely pick Texas A&M. But since it's at Columbia, I'm going to go with those Gamecocks.
Well, again, the SEC. Lots of things can happen because everybody's pretty good. I'm still going to go with the Aggies on this one. I think they have some hopes of getting into the 12-team playoff, and if they can't be doing that if they lose to South Carolina, other people like that. They've kind of got to keep the winning up. So I'm going to go. In other words, I don't think they're going to be primed for any kind of letdown or any of that kind of stuff. I think they think every game is big. So I'm going to pick the Aggies on this one.
Yeah, I'm picking Texas A&M. Even though South Carolina's at home, I thought about it, but I watched Texas A&M last week, and they looked pretty good to me.
Louisville at number 11, Clemson. Louisville is going to Death Valley, and there's a reason it's called Death Valley. Clemson rarely loses there, and they won't lose Saturday. It will be the 4th loss for Louisville. The only team that Clemson's lost to has been the
Georgia.
number 2 ranked Georgia Bulldogs. And since that time, their quarterback is now starting to be mentioned in the Heisman hopeful, like 5 or 6 down, but he's in the talk now. And Kublinek, whatever his name is, has turned into a really good quarterback. As I go back and watch the replays of the show, I said when he figures it out, he's going to be hard to start. And his, I think his quarterback rating was around 70 something. He's doing a lot better. And they're putting a lot of points on the game, in the game, and their defense is always good. So I don't even think this is going to be very close.
Well,
I hope not. I picked Clemson too.
Gary?
Clemson. Without a
Clemson
doubt.
it is. Texas Tech at Iowa State. Texas Tech has had some close losses, and I believe this will be a close one, but still a loss.
Yeah, they're right now. They're on the downside of the ledger, aren't they? Are they?
Ohio
But
State's
Texas-
undefeated,
Yeah. So
and Texas
and
Tech, I
Texas-
think they've lost 2.
yeah, I was thinking maybe more of that, but I don't have the record for them. So, but I'm picking Iowa State.
Yeah, I'm picking them because they're at home. If it had been the other way around, I'd have thought about it.
Number 13, Indiana at Michigan State. Michigan State has 4 losses, and this will be number 5. And it will not be that close. Indiana took out Washington with their second string quarterback, and the chances are that number 1 quarterback, Curtis Rourke, will be back to handle the Spartans. They're good enough to beat Washington with their number 2 quarterback. They can handle Michigan State, no problem. And I don't think it's going to be close because Indiana's been putting some points on the board.
Yeah, they got a good
Ah.
offense.
I'm picking Indiana.
Yeah, me too. They got it going up there. They should be ranked higher than 13.
I agree. Absolutely agree. They've beaten some good ball clubs.
Well, again, these are the people that are fighting for that 12-team playoff. You know, and people start bitching about that. Oh, we need to take more than No, I think once you get to the 12 best teams in the country, most everybody's going to agree. They may not agree on the order. You know, who should be 2 or 3 or 4 or something like that. But they probably come to the agreement of who should be in the top 12. And Indiana's trying to make sure that they get consideration for being in the top 12.
Sounds good to me. Kansas State at Houston. Avery Johnson of K-State has a quarterback rating of 76.6 for a reason. He's pretty good. Houston will not be able to contain the rushing attack of K-State. That quarterback for Kansas State, Johnson, if he doesn't have anybody open, he runs. And he's a great runner. I really like Kansas State. I'd like to see them do well this year. I don't like pocket passers. I would much rather have a quarterback that's got some legs. That's why I enjoyed watching Georgia play so much when Stetson Bennett was there. Because if Stetson didn't have anything open, he'd just take off. And you know that he had a 4.3 40?
I think I did know that. Yeah, he was quite an athlete. And
You got a
he's still
quarterback.
isn't he still on the Rams roster?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's still there.
Yeah.
Well,
see.
they see something in him. I mean, he can run a 4.3, and he's got a damn rocket launcher for an arm. You know, that can get you out of some pretty rough situations. We all remember the pass he threw against Oregon last year to start the season off. That's possibly one of the best pass plays I've ever seen.
Well,
High school,
you
college,
got
or pro.
what they call the RPO, the run pass option.
Houston's good, but I'm going with Kansas State myself.
Yep.
Absolutely. This ought to be a barn burner. Another one of the marquee games this week. New to the ACC, SMU has only one loss by 3 points to an undefeated by BYU. Pitt has no losses to anyone, but they have had an easy schedule so far. SMU in an upset.
Well, I'm going with SMU because they're playing at home.
I thought about it, but I'm going with Pitt.
And
All
I
right.
looked at Pitt's schedule, and they just haven't played anybody.
Yeah, I think SMU's probably better, but I'm going with the upset. Although I guess it's not an upset if you're 18 and SMU's 20.
Yeah, but that's just within, that much of each other. So, okay. All right. I'm picking SMU.
SMU, me too. Ole Miss at Arkansas. Hyped up Ole Miss has been a disappointment. Arkansas can beat anyone on any given day. Only because it's a home game, Arkansas.
Well, I'm pulling for the Rebels for a little bit of redemption here, so I'm gonna pick Ole Miss.
Yeah, I thought about Arkansas, but I'm going with Ole Miss myself. 28-21. Defensive battle. I don't think there's going to be that many points scored.
You're picking who, William?
Ole Miss.
Well, I'm either gonna be coming up in the crowd, or I'm gonna be going down real hard this week. I just think when they play at home, Arkansas is a different team, and Ole Miss has really missed this year.
Well, that's why I'm saying I'm hoping this is part of their redemption here to go on the road and win one in the SEC. Might do
Because
something
if
for
they-
their conference.
I mean, Ole Miss lost to Kentucky. If Ole Miss loses, they're out. They're no longer in contention, and they still got to play us. I'm not sure. Let's see. Ole Miss has still got to play us, Florida, Mississippi State. So this
Well,
is
they'll be
pretty
favored
much,
they'll be favored in those last two, that's for sure.
yeah. Minnesota at Illinois. Illinois has one more win, but these two evenly matched teams, although Minnesota has won their last three, and Illinois is coming off a bashing by Oregon, which should have them in a foul mood, and it's a home game. So I'm going with Illinois.
Yeah, for some of those same reasons that you just elaborated on. I'm going to stick with Illinois too.
Same here.
Fighting Illini.
Fighting Illini with their boring icon. Even Michigan, Minnesota's better. I like it. Vanderbilt at Auburn. Vanderbilt, this will be another extremely. Right there, Auburn. Okay, this will be an extremely hostile environment for Vandy, but I doubt they care. Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Auburn's just not been very good, have they? And Vandy has shown the capability of being pretty good. So I'm going with the Commodores. How about them Doors?
I'm going with
Vanderbilt-
Bill's favorite team there, Auburn.
Well, I mean, they are playing on the Plains, so that's not a bad pick. I'm just going with that.
It is a hostile environment.
That's another toss up to me.
Yeah, it's a toss-up.
Well, I was there for the famous, but between the hoses game that Georgia played over there. I was there for that one. You know, when they turned the hoses on everybody.
Oh yeah, you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
You weren't in the hose, though, were you?
No, but I saw people getting arrested and sitting on the sidelines with twist ties on their arms. It was a debacle. It was terrible what Auburn did. It's just the poorest sportsmanship imaginable.
Another reason we hate Auburn. Well, guys, that is the end because I don't have our statistician is not here tonight to give us the update on who's ahead on the picks. So
I think we're pretty tight now.
Yeah, we're pretty tight. William came up very much because William had one missed
Where'd you
pick
go?
last week.
One missed pick, like 13-1 or something like that. I think.
So
Good for you.
congratulations to William. That will bring you back up because I missed 4. So not a good week for me.
Me too.
I'm still in the last place, but moved up a little bit.
All right, we're going to take a quick intermission and we'll be back for our closing remarks.
Just an update here for you. The Yankees are up 4-0 in the third inning.
Oh well.
So
I
it
don't
doesn't
like the
look
Dodgers,
good.
but I don't like the Yankees. So it's like Gary puts his hell versus hell something.
Yeah. East Hell versus West Hell.
East Hell versus West Hell.
Hell still wins.
Hell still wins. I don't care. I really don't. I just like them both, and
The only reason I'm pulling for the Dodgers is for Fred.
well, that could maybe sway me a little bit, but not much. I still remember sitting up in the nosebleed seats hollering, Darryl, Darryl, and really pissing off Darryl Strawberry. We got his attention. It'd take maybe 3 or 4 innings, but he'd start turning around looking, trying to see who was saying it. But it was that made it more fun. Even though at that point in time the Braves were getting the crap beat out of them by everybody. That's been a long time ago.
I remember. I think I told you this story once before. Since we got a little time, I was at one of those games where there was at the old Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, right? And there may have been 6,000 or 7,000 people there that night. So it was like empty, looked like almost. So this guy about 10 rows down stands up, turns around, and says, "Anybody want a beer?" And I went. So he said, so I didn't feel bad about that because you know what that guy did that night? He went home and said, tonight I bought beer for Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. And he did. That's how few people were there for that. And then, of course, they got on the roll, and Braves are still pretty good. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they are. They had a good regular season.
Halloween tomorrow. Halloween tomorrow. And another, do you guys remember when we used to drive around and not think about anybody putting razor blades in our apples or any of that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah.
And now you have to have special events to keep the kids safe. Isn't that just tragic? Isn't that just absolutely tragic?
It is our world today. It is how much our
there's
world
still
has
some people that
changed
go
for
around
the
the
worse.
neighborhoods. Yeah.
And if
right.
the candy's not
There's still
individually
some people that
wrapped,
trick or treat in neighborhoods.
you wouldn't dare take a piece of candy
Oh, no.
that's
No,
not
we don't touch
individually
it.
wrapped.
Oh no, we don't do baked goods or any of that kind of cupcakes or any of that kind of stuff.
We used to
anymore.
get
No, no, no.
cupcakes, were some of the best things you could get. Cookies. Moms would make cookies, and that's what they'd give away.
Yeah, cookies. Right,
And
right.
It
things
was
like
it
that.
was a lot more festive and,
you
a
know,
lot more
and if-
enjoyable.
And if you do go to anything now, you're going to neighborhoods that you absolutely just about know everybody there.
Yeah.
We trick or treated from strangers. We had no idea who these people were.
No.
But
Didn't care. Candy. That's all we was interested in.
that's a
Having
shame.
fun.
When I was about 8, we
but
went to
you're
this
right,
one house, and they wrapped up in aluminum foil coins, like nickels, dimes, pennies, about a half-inch stack of coins. That was always good to go
Wow.
to because you got money.
Yeah.
No
Our
candy,
church
just money.
and some other churches, we did the trunk or treat in downtown Oakwood on Sunday. We had a pretty big crowd. I think the weather was cold and cloudy, and that might have held off the crowd a little bit. But it was fun, and saw some really neat looking costumes. Really cool. Some were homemade and some were fabricated, but they were still all pretty good. It's a good festive time of the year. What can
In
I
our
say?
later years, I remember going down to. We used to go to Atlanta to the clubs for the Halloween down at the Masquerade and places like that.
Oh,
where
you
they
can see
would-
all kinds. Now you really see some elaborate stuff there.
You see some
It looked like one of those
strange
Comic
people.
Con.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been to Comic Con?
I've been to Dragon Con in Atlanta. I interviewed Stan Lee. The Stan Lee. He and I sat down in his hotel room and did an interview.
No kidding. No
No kidding. I sure wish I still had that tape. That was something. He was talking to me about projects that were on the horizon way off, and some of that stuff he was talking about, I think, came true even beyond what he was expecting. Because we all know what a $1 billion franchise the Marvel Universe is.
Absolutely. Well, guys, it's been a great week. Y'all be safe out there. Your kids, keep your kids safe. And we'll
Same to
see you
you.
next week.
All right.
Right here.
The end of
Happy
my
Halloween.
favorite month. Tomorrow.
Why is it your favorite month, William?
October. I just like October.
Just like what October. Well, I'm about ready to get out there and do some hiking. The leaves are falling off trees. I said I wasn't going to go back
There you go.
again until I could see something other than a lot of trees.
Well, traveling mercies for us. We're taking off on Saturday morning before daylight, heading for Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, for a travel baseball tournament for my oldest grandson.
Sounds like
We'll
fun.
be up there on Saturday,
Good luck.
Saturday and Sunday. Oh, I'm sure it'll be.
You gonna make it back for trivia?
Yes. On Monday? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Good.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Good.
All right. Good
Good
night.
night.